Guys, welcome back to my channel Full Stack Adda. In today's video, we are going to learn about conditional statements in JavaScript. So, what is conditional statement? A conditional statement contains a group of statements. They get executed only the particular condition is true. Suppose you are given a task to print a number which is greater than other number. So how you can do? You need to first compare, for example, A greater than B. Then you can print A is greater than B, and in other cases you can print B is greater than A. So to write such type of conditions, we can use these conditional statements. And here basically we have three types of conditional statements in JavaScript: if else, switch, and ternary. Ternary basically we call it as an operator, but here we mostly use for the purpose of conditional checking. Based on the condition checking, we assign value to the variable. So that's why we mostly learn this under conditional statements concept only. And within if else, we have total three type flavors of if statement we can write. First one, a single if condition you can write. Second one we can write if else, and third one we can write if else if like that, and at the end we can put else block. So we can learn all these three individually. First one, if statement. All these statements purpose is same. When a particular condition is true, if we want to execute a set of statements, and in other case we want to execute another set of statements. So here is the syntax for if else. If within the parentheses we write the condition, and curly braces, within the curly braces we write set of statements, and else keyword and the open and close curly brace. Inside else block we write the conditions, and the right hand side we have the syntax for if else if ladder. Here also same. If within the parentheses we write the condition, and within this block we can write the statements. This gets executed when this condition 1 is true, and another one else if condition 2, where if the first if condition is not true, then this second else if will be checked. When the second condition is also not true, then it will check the third condition. Like that it goes on. If none of these if statements matches, at the end it will, by default it will execute the else block. So let me show. So first, this is a program for if else. Here I have a variable x, and we just need to print whether it is an even number or odd number. And if the variable is completely divided by 2, then it's even number, otherwise it's an odd number. So here in the if condition I wrote x, this modulus operator, 2 equal to 0, then x is even number. And anyway, here I have 10. 10 can completely be divided by the 2. This condition becomes true. So we get the output x is even number. If I change this number to 7, now x percentage 2, so it is not completely divided by 2. Then in that case, this else block gets executed, and we get the output x is odd number. So this is it. And we can also use a single if statement. We can also, sometimes we no need of else block. So this also we can also write the if statement alone. Now it is not a even number, so we didn't get any output. Now let me change back to some even number 20, and if I run, I will get the output x is even number. And if else, so here our requirement is we need to compare two numbers which we discussed. So I have x 10 and y 20, and in the first if statement I can write x greater than y condition. If this condition is true, I print x is greater than y, and in the else if x less than y, and I print y is greater than x. And this kind of else if we can write as many as per our requirement. I just wrote only one else if, and at the end we can write else block. If these above two conditions are not matched, then default x is equal to y. And if I run, I will get the output y is greater than x, because how it compares, x value is 10 and y value is 20. 10 greater than 20, false. So this block will not get executed, and it comes to, it checks this else if x less than y. So 10 less than 20. So this condition satisfied. So this block gets executed, and we got the output y is greater than x. And if I change the y value also to 10, and these two conditions will not get matched, so else block by default it will be executed. If we run, get the output x is equal to y. And here we have some falsy values. So if in the if statement it will consider these values as falsy values, means by default it will consider them as false. By default, general boolean value false, it considers as a false, and undefined also it will consider as a condition false, and null it is considered as a condition as a false, zero not a number, and empty string. So I will just explain this with the sample program. So let's say here I have taken one variable x, and its value is null, and if I run this program, first it will check if of x variable is null, so it will consider null as a false. So this if block will not get executed, and else one will get executed. So we get this else block statement. So we can just change the value x as value, and in the else we just print x is like that. So if I run, I get the output x is null. If I change the value to 10 something, now if of x, now x has some value, so it will consider it as a true. So if I run it, now this if statement will get, it will become true, and the statement inside this if block will get executed. So we got the output x has value 10. And same how it consider null as a false value, and same it will consider if it has an empty string, then also it will consider as a false, and else will be executed. So we can see x is empty, and same for other values also. So all these values are considered as a false value. So this is also an interview question. What are the false values if statement considers? False, undefined, null, zero, not a number, empty string. Okay. Next, ternary operator. So ternary operator simplifies the statement of if else. So here we have the previous if else statement, right? If the first one is matches, it's a even number, else it's an odd number. This same if else condition we can write using the ternary operator in single statement. So its syntax is basically, let me show you. So first we write the condition question mark, and if this condition is true, after the question mark we write the first value. This first value 1 will be assigned to a variable. If the condition is false, and after colon we write the value 2, and this value 2 will be assigned to this variable. So we write the condition first, question mark, value 1, colon, value, and these two, value 1, value 2 should be same type. So if the condition is true, value 1 will be assigned to variable. If the condition is false, value 2 is assigned to variable. So let me show you an example. Here I have variable x with value 10, and here we just took the example of even or odd number program. X percentage equal to 0. So 10, 2 can completely divide 10. So obviously this condition becomes true. So ternary operator returns this value 1 to even variable. So if we run this program, we will get the output even. And if I change this value to some 5, some odd number, and if we run, we will get the output odd. So this is about ternary operator. And first one, switch statement. Switch statement, so here we will write some set of case statements, and this switch statement compares the input parameter with all the case statements. Whatever it is matched, it will execute that particular case statement. So first let me show you the syntax. So here we have the syntax. Switch keyword, we write parenthesis. Within the parenthesis we will write the some expression, or we can pass the variable, and this switch statement matches this variable value with all case labels. So case is also a keyword, and all these labels, whatever is matched, that particular case alone it will execute. And the case syntax is, we write a case keyword and the label and colon, and inside it we can write some set of statements and a break statement. We must write this break statement, otherwise even though the second case is not matched, it will be executed if there is no break statement. And at the end we can also write the default colon. So this is the kind of default case. If any of these case statements are not matched, this default section will be executed. Let me show you example here. So I have declared a week number 1, and here I have a case 1. If I run this program, so I'm passing value 1, it matches the case 1, and I get the output Sunday. And if I change to some other value 3 and run again, so it will match with this case Tuesday, and I get the output to Tuesday. And if there is no break statement after the case 3, so even though week number value is 3 and it matches 3 and prints Tuesday, since there is no break statement, it will execute case 4 also. If I run, we get the output Tuesday and Wednesday. We get these two case statements will be executed. So let me change back. And if we pass any number outside, now we have to 6. If I change it to 7 and run it, so this default one will get executed. So this is all about conditional statements. So you also try to practice all these if else, else if, and switch and ternary operator. Thank you.